In a quiet mountain village surrounded by emerald trees, winding rivers, and cool winds that carried the scent of pine, lived a young girl named Aaliya, whose heart beat with the colors of 1,000 dreams. She spent her days painting on stones, leaves, scraps of paper, and anything she could find, imagining worlds far larger than the one she knew. As the Grand Lantern Festival approached, an event where villagers released lanterns into the sky to honor their hopes for the coming year, Aaliya wished to create a lantern so beautiful that it would tell her story to the stars. But with her tiny set of fading paints, frayed brushes, and thin paper that tore with the slightest touch, she worried her dream could never match the magnificent lanterns crafted by others. Every evening she walked to the riverbank beneath the soft shade of a willow tree, dipping her fingers into the cool water before opening her paint box, trying again and again to capture the colors she imagined but could never fully show because her tools were old and her supplies limited. One afternoon, as the golden sun melted into the mountains and the sky, shifted from fiery orange to soft pink, an old traveler appeared on the river path, his eyes warm with wisdom and his steps gentle like someone who carried many stories in his heart. He paused behind Aaliya, quietly watching the determination in her small hands as she tried to blend colors that no longer mixed well. When she sighed, he stepped closer and asked softly what troubled her. She told him about the festival, her dream of making a lantern filled with magic and meaning, and her fear that she lacked the tools and talent to create something worthy. The traveler smiled knowingly and placed beside her a tiny jar of shimmering golden dust, a smooth wooden brush carved with delicate patterns, and strong lantern paper that felt soft yet firm, as though it had been made with care and ancient skill. He told her that true art came not from perfect tools but from brave hearts, and that dreams needed to be believed before they could be seen. His words lit a spark inside Aaliya, and when he disappeared down the forest path, she felt as if the world had shifted gently in her favor. That night, beneath a sky overflowing with stars, she sat by the window of her small home, determined to create something extraordinary. Using the new brush, she painted the mountains as guardians of hope, the river as a ribbon of endless dreams, the village children as lantern carriers of courage, and in the center she painted a girl, herself, holding a glowing paintbrush toward the heavens as if inviting the stars to come closer. Each stroke felt alive. The colors shimmered softly, blending richer and deeper than she had ever experienced, and when she sprinkled the golden dust across the lantern, it sparkled like tiny suns captured in paper. Day after day leading to the festival, Aaliya refined her lantern's details, adding tiny stars near the mountaintops, painting reflections on the water, shading leaves and flowers, and bringing warmth into the eyes of every character she illustrated. She worked through mornings, evenings, and deep into the quiet of the night, stopping only when her mother gently reminded her to rest. When the festival night finally arrived, the village square filled with lanterns of every size and color, ruby red, sapphire blue, emerald green, and bright amber, each telling a story of love, hope, gratitude, or courage. Children ran excitedly, families gathered together, and warm lights flickered like dancing fireflies across the fields. Aaliya held her lantern close, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and hope. When her turn came to present it, she stepped forward shyly, unsure if anyone would notice the fragile dream she carried. But when her lantern was lit, a sudden hush fell over the crowd. The lantern glowed softly at first, then brighter still, until it illuminated the faces of everyone, standing nearby with a warm golden light that felt comforting, magical, and alive. The painted river seemed to flow, the mountains shimmered as if touched by moonlight, and the girl in the center looked almost real, her glowing paintbrush raised in eternal hope. The elder of the village, a man who had witnessed many festivals, placed his hand on Aaliya's shoulder and said with a voice full of warmth that her lantern carried the light of dreams, and that her heart was that of a true artist. Tears welled in Aaliya's eyes, happy, overwhelmed tears that felt like rain blessing her soul. As the countdown began, she held her lantern gently, whispering a quiet wish that her art might one day inspire others. When the villagers shouted, 3, 2, 1, she released the lantern and watched it rise into the star-strewn sky. It floated higher than she imagined, joining the constellation of glowing lanterns drifting like magical stars. But hers shone brighter, glowing such a radiant gold that even the moon seemed to pause to admire it. As it ascended into the heavens, Aaliya felt something shift inside her, a certainty that her dream was real and growing. carried not by perfect tools but by courage, dedication, and the belief that her imagination mattered. And somewhere far beyond the hills, perhaps at the edge of another village or deep within a forest path, the old traveler smiled to himself, knowing she had found her light, and that her journey as an artist had only just begun. In a serene mountain village wrapped in golden dusk, the camera glides over winding stone paths, glowing lanterns, and children laughing as they prepare for the Grand Lantern Festival, before slowly pushing in toward a small house where Aaliya, a bright-eyed young girl with paint-stained fingers, sits by her window mixing colors that have nearly faded away. Her voiceover reveals her dream of creating a lantern that tells her story to the sky. Cut to the riverbank beneath a willow tree where she spends her afternoons, sunlight flickering through leaves, brushes worn thin, her paintings delicate but incomplete, until an old traveler appears in a wide shot, walking slowly, dust on his clothes. In a soft close-up, he hands her a tiny jar of shimmering golden dust, a smooth carved brush and strong lantern paper, telling her that true art comes from the heart. The camera follows his footsteps as he walks away and dissolves into the sunset. Transition to night. Aaliya sits near a single warm lamp, painting with determination. The camera sweeps across her lantern, revealing mountains glowing under moonlight, rivers painted like silver ribbons, children holding lanterns of courage, and at the center, a young girl reaching toward the stars with a glowing paintbrush. The golden dust sparkles as she sprinkles it across the lantern, creating a magical shimmer that lights up the room, her voiceover whispering her hopes. On the festival night, the camera reveals the village square bursting with color. Hundreds of lanterns, warm music, joyful faces, then moves in on Aaliya clutching her lantern nervously. When she steps forward, a hush falls. The elder lights her lantern, and in a breathtaking close-up, it glows with a warm golden brilliance, the painted river seeming to move, the mountains shimmering like they're alive. Wide shot. The villagers gasp. Children point. Elders smile with pride. The village elder places a gentle hand on her shoulder and calls, her lantern the light of dreams. And Aaliya's eyes well with emotion. As the countdown begins, the camera pulls back to reveal the entire village holding up their lanterns. On one, Aaliya releases hers. The camera follows it rising into the sky, glowing brighter with every inch, floating past hundreds of others until it shines like a tiny sun drifting among stars, the moon casting a soft glow over the magical scene. Her voiceover whispers her wish, "May my art bring light to the world." And in the final shot, far beyond the village, the old traveler turns back with a knowing smile, disappearing into the mountains as the screen fades to black. In a peaceful mountain village where evenings glowed with the soft warmth of lantern light, lived a gentle young girl named Aaliya, whose heart was filled with dreams brighter than the stars above. She spent her days painting by the river beneath the willow tree, using her tiny box of worn-out colors to capture the beauty around her. As the Grand Lantern Festival approached, a night when the whole village released lanterns carrying their hopes into the sky, Aaliya wished to create a lantern that would shine with her deepest dream, but she felt discouraged because her brushes were old and her paper too thin. One golden afternoon, as she painted quietly by the riverside, an old traveler stopped beside her, his voice soft with kindness, as he told her that true magic came not from perfect tools but from the courage inside her heart. He gifted her a small jar of shimmering golden dust, a smooth wooden brush, and a strong sheet of lantern, paper before disappearing down the road as mysteriously as he had arrived. That night, under a sky sprinkled with stars, Aaliya painted with all her heart, mountains touched by moonlight, rivers flowing like ribbons of hope, children carrying lanterns glowing with courage, and at the center she painted a little girl reaching toward the heavens with a shining paintbrush. When she sprinkled the golden dust across her lantern, it sparkled as if tiny stars had landed upon it. On the festival night, the village filled with music, laughter and lanterns in every color. But when Aaliya lit hers, the crowd fell silent. Her lantern glowed with a warm, golden light so gentle and magical that it made the painted rivers shimmer and the mountains glow as if alive. The village elder placed a kind hand on her shoulder, telling her she had the heart of an artist and a light that could inspire others. As the villagers counted down, Aaliya held her lantern close, whispering her wish that her art might bring joy to the world, and when she released it, it drifted upward, rising higher and higher until it joined the stars, shining brighter than all the others. And as it floated into the night sky, Aaliya felt her dream taking flight with it, while somewhere far beyond the mountains, The old traveler smiled, knowing her journey had only just begun.